latest episode of that SEC podcast. I'm your host, Michael Brennan. Go by SEC Mike on the Twitters. And when you know it, show starts. Cousin Shane, nowhere to be found. Where is that bastard? There he is.
Just because you don't add me doesn't mean I'm not here. What's going on, cuz?
Oh, buddy. Man, what a weekend here in the SEC, Shane. Not a single road team survived. You know what?
No, it was, I told you, man. I told you upset was in the air. We felt it coming in here. We're trying to figure out which one it was going to be, and I'm glad to see I was the one that nailed it. Longhorn fans ain't happy, but...
How'd you do that, given the fact that you just shat all over Florida for 6 months, and then you out here and predicted the best win they've ever had of the Billy Napier era?
It just felt like they were due. You know, it's like me at the casino when I'm just like out of my luck, I'm losing money, and I'm like, you know what? I got to stick around. This machine's about to hit. I feel it.
Well, if you're really feeling it, Shane, I recommend you go over to MyBookie, presenting sponsor of the show. Go check them out. MyBookie.ag is the website. Most importantly, that promo code, Shane. SEC. It's on the bottom of the screen. It'll be there all football season. Go over to MyBookie, sign up for an account, put in an initial deposit, put in that promo code SEC, and they're giving you a one-time wager-free, whatever you want to put in. Let's up to $500, Shane. Mm-hmm. They'll cover you. Let's say you miss your first pick, you got $50 in MyBookie. Boom, they give you that $50 right back as long as you put in that promo code SEC. Listen to Cousin Shane when he predicts these massive upsets nobody else sees coming. And, man, we'll have you covered. You know what?
Absolutely, man. And that's, I guess, when you're with the family, a risk-free bet's exactly what you need, you know? Yeah. So promo code SEC. And then when you do take those winnings, Mike, where do you take them? You take them right down the street to Tennessee Legend Distillery. I appreciate these cousins. We had some family members showing up this week. I will debut the new Tennessee Legend starting Monday, so I've got a new one. Andrea Blackburn. She went into one of the local stores, got a picture made. So appreciate the cousins getting out there. And if you do make it, just be sure to let them know you are a family member. They'll give you a discount and a bonus gift. You can do that at the several locations or the one in Nashville. And if you can't get it, a lot of folks saying, hey, man, I ain't got it down here. Well, what they do is they go to the package store and they say, hey, we got to get this on our shelves. And that's what's happening now. So I appreciate all the cousins doing all the legwork to make sure that our sponsors are happy.
Yeah. And hey, Shane, again, I'm not, hell, you predicted the big upset. So,
yeah,
you get your flowers. But you also said this damn man will be the first man fired. And if not, you'd be wearing Miami Vice. So, maybe you should have worn that.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. Yeah, I'm doing Miami Vice. Maybe we got Halloween coming up, so we like to dress up that week. One of those days, I'll pick Miami Vice Day.
Okay. Well, hey, also, Shane, I wanted to credit again. Shane nailed it. Perfect weekend. 5-0. Only one. Cousin Chase went 4-1. Steven went 4-1. I went 4-1. So. Ooh, look who just caught up to Stevie. Shane and Steven tied at 55. I'm at 56, just a hair above them. And then the cousin Shane still got the lead for another week. And, man, we got one hell of a week. I think there's going to be some separation upcoming. We'll have all week to talk about that. But how's it feel to be perfect undefeated?
If I got $1 for every time I was told that I was perfect, Mike, I'd have $8 now. So it is nice. It is unusual. And, just like Billy Napier says, we gotta wash it off, man. We got to move forward. You guys were kicking me while I was down. Now that they're talking about how perfect my picks are, I got to turn off that noise, move on 1 week at a time. So I moved on. I was kind of surprised Steven didn't pick Florida to win that one. But have you checked on Steve-O since the loss there?
Yeah, he's radio silent over there for the time being. You know what? So let's get into it. This is why, if you missed it, and how could you? Florida, Billy Napier, Shade saves his job, at least for another week. Beats Texas 29-21. Man, what a game here, Shane. And boy, did Billy need this one. How about this, Shane? Best performance of the season by far for the Florida Gators.
Yes.
DJ Lagway, Jaden Ball, the offensive line, and this sensational freshman, Dallas Wilson. We should have given him a little bit more love on our emergency podcast. He was just a huge impact in this football game. And how about this, Shane? Would you believe it? More yards Florida got in this football game than any game this season. Even more than LIU. 457 yards they scored on Old Texas. And, buddy, this was not like any kind of fluke either. I mean, this was Florida taking it right to them, come right out, scored 10 points, and hell, it was going to be a damn blowout. But Florida turned the ball over. Texas turned that into their first score of the game to kind of make it look, 10-7. I was like, okay, here we go. And then, no, sir, Florida came roaring back, jumped out 17-0. They blocked a punt to get it to 19-7. Vernell Brown had a huge 60-yard reception in the game. That was a huge play. Dallas Wilson, 55-yard touchdown. That was maybe the most impressive non-Brazzle touchdown of a receiver this entire season, Shane. Florida had 6 sacks, and I'm seeing everybody and their mother jumping on Arch. Not that he was like Superman in this game. 263 yards, 2 touchdowns. The 2 picks were critical, but he did lead the team in rushing. I thought the offensive line failed him more than anything, but we got to give our due to DJ. I was about ready to bury him, Shane.
Yep.
And this is a guy that was banged up, looked like he's still kind of not 100% there, but he was 100% ready to whoop Texas ass, and that's just what he did. How about them Gators, Shane?
4 more years. 4 more years. Hey, I will say, I know there's a lot of torn Gator fans, but you know, if you've been watching some of the Florida games this season, you know there were moments you're saying, man, if this would have happened, we would have won. If this would have happened, we would have been closer. You know, it felt like, yes, they've got 3 losses up to this point. But Billy, maybe that's it. He sold me saying, hey, this is a team that is on the cusp of doing special things. And by God, they did a special thing down there in Gainesville. And kudos to the fans showing up. Mike, I think that was one of the biggest factors. You had the 3-loss Florida Gator. You've had the weather, everything that could go against you is going against you, and those fans showed up. That was a loud swamp. Haven't heard that in a long time, Mike, and that's what they got to have. And this was a great launch pad for the Florida Gators to salvage somewhat a successful season, in my opinion. So, yeah, I don't know exactly, because that's the big question everybody wants to know is, does this save Billy's job? I don't necessarily think that's the case, but I do think that it's a major step forward for this program if they're really going to grab some momentum as they hit in conference play here.
Right. Well, you're Nostradamus over there, so picking these games. So use your Nostradamus crystal ball. Where does this take Florida? How critical is this upcoming game at A&M? Hell, A&M's red hot. Those fans, we'll get to them in a minute. They're on cloud 9 as they should be.
Yeah.
Do they have to win that one to have all this momentum, or is it? I mean, hell, we're talking number 6 in the country, I believe, is A&M.
Yeah.
Do they have to win that to capture, or can they even lose that and maybe beat State, Kentucky, and a couple of these others? Where are you at? Like is this a one-off or is this a turnaround again?
It's right now a little bit of a one-off, right?
Yeah.
I feel like anybody in the Southeastern Conference can lose a game or win a game, and that's kind of where we're going to be sitting as a national spotlight on the Florida Gators here, but I think these next 3 games, and yes, Georgia is in that mix, are must wins. And it's crazy to say because at the start of the season, I would never have told you that Florida and A&M is a must win, that right. Florida and Georgia is a must win. But by God, it's a must win. If Billy truly is going to keep his job and, get the opportunity to coach for these Gators next year, I feel like, dude, you just started a streak that you have to complete, No right. Stupid timeouts, no more bullshit. You got to win. But that's one of the things that Billy kind of has in his pocket. I always told you it's like a cornered rattlesnake. He ain't got nothing to lose here, so he'll bite your ass, but you got to be ready. And I feel like the Florida Gators, they've got to wash this up. They got to move forward. And if they do that, Mike, and they catch fire here the next 3 games, then my gosh, man, you talk about the biggest comeback in SEC history. We may be witnessing it.
Yeah, and again, one player, I don't think clearly, even a quarterback can necessarily make a team. So I'm not trying to put too much on this guy, but Dallas Wilson, 5-star freshman, hasn't played all year. He was banged up. And then they said, well, hell, not only is he going to play, he's going to start us. So, good Lord. Usually when I heard he was banged up, I was like, I've been hearing all this great stuff about him, but banged up, coming back. How many games is it? Usually that's a question. How many games until he's like full go? Mm-hmm. Man, he looks like he could take Florida to another level just by himself. Again, the 55-yard touchdown was sensational. Yeah. He had the first touchdown. He had 2 touchdowns, 6 catches. I have it written down here. 6 catches, I think 111 yards, 2 touchdowns. Against mighty Texas, Shane. This ain't, LIU, he's whooping their ass. This is Texas, who I was told was the best defense under God's green earth, you know what I mean? But again, this is a true freshman, first time playing in college football, dominated their ass. If he's like Julio Jones 2.0, and that's a lot to throw on him. But after one game, I mean, that's who he looks like. Could that raise the ceiling for what this Florida team is?
Yeah, I think obviously weapons emerging on this offense is key to success, but the ultimate key is, for me, keeping that quarterback healthy. And DJ limping to the sideline multiple times during this game. He's been in a boot numerous of times. I mean, we don't have any more bye weeks for a while. This is I guess we got one before the Georgia game, which I guess we could really like to get to, but still, you've got 2 physical teams that you're going to be playing here the next couple of weeks. And I think for me, the biggest concern is not so much weapons emerging, it's keeping my quarterback healthy. DJ didn't run one time in this football game. I don't expect him to do that moving forward, but you better believe that these next 2 teams that they're facing know exactly what DJ's limitations are, and they're going to try to expose it. So yeah, that's, for me, that's the biggest one.
Now, any concern, Shane, that we look like garbage for 3 weeks and then we come out here and whoop Texas? I mean, does that anger you at all as a Florida guy?
What do you mean?
Like where the hell's this been? Why are we just getting it now? And
I think Florida fans in particular, I think they're the ones that are saying, well, this is why we weren't out with you at the beginning of the season, because we knew what this team could be. And Billy's out here telling you how good this team is. So you kind of build those expectations and those standards. And, all these talking heads are putting them in the top 15, top 10, at the start of the season. I mean, those lofty expectations, I mean, you're looking at a team that could carry that, but you didn't the last 3 weeks. So I feel like you're more upset as a Florida fan that you kind of missed this. But then again, you're in a limbo, right? Because half the people I talk to that are Gator fans don't want Billy, and half of them want him to succeed now. So it's like you're flipping a coin.
Yeah. Do you think this team, again, we're sitting here at 2-3. Do you think they make a bowl game with upcoming games at A&M, Mississippi State at home, bye week, Georgia and Jacksonville, of course, at Kentucky, at Ole Miss, Tennessee at home, Florida State at home? So we got to go, 4-2, 4.
Yeah.
What do you think? Can we go 4-3 with that slate?
Mike, we're here in a weird spot, right? We're in a spot where we're trying to figure out, was Florida really good or is Texas that bad? And we got to address the elephant in the room. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we can't just give you a win. It's almost like
Shane, this mighty Texas. What the hell's wrong with you?
It's similar to the LSU Clemson talk, right? I mean, we were having parades for Brian Kelly because he won not only his first game of the season, but it was against Clemson Tigers. Then, they get their ass kicked by Syracuse, and now they're not so good. So I feel like that's kind of, you got to have that as a factor. You can't just sit here and promote how well Florida's playing without pointing out the fact that what if Texas is not that good?
Right. Okay, but You avoided the question.
Yes.
Is Florida going to a bowl game?
Oh, yeah, they're going bowling.
You think so?
Yes, they are.
So that would require, let's assume beat State, beat Kentucky.
Yes.
They need 2 others. At A&M, Georgia, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Florida State. I'm not saying they can't, but that's what it's going to require.
Yeah, I mean, so let's say if it were to happen, and I'm not super confident, right? I mean, let's pump the brakes. All right, I'm kind of in that. What if I'm in the Texas camp right now? More questions about Texas than Florida,
right?
But I feel like Mississippi State can be a winnable game. I feel like Kentucky can be a winnable game.
We still need 2 more.
I feel like the last 2 at home, Tennessee. Can be a winnable game, and same thing with Florida State.
Florida State whoop Alabama's ass.
Yeah, but Florida State they've kind of changed a little bit here lately. And the one thing that I will say out of all this that has happened is one thing I have noticed more than anything is the progression of this Florida defense. And for me, that's kind of why I was looking at that. It's like which teams can this defense keep them in? And
they got all over damn Arch's ass, didn't they?
Yeah.
6 sacks in this football game, 2 interceptions. One, I don't want to say was a gimme. Arch did throw it right at his ass. But again, because this was the pressure was getting after him, And Arch did have the really nice touchdown to Ryan Wingo.
Yeah.
That was about the highlight of the game. And again, he led him in run. You can't have your quarterback, as good as an athlete as he is, you can't ask Arch to be your leading rusher. Anytime you do that in this conference, you're going to lose. I think that's fair to say, don't you?
And I think Wingo's had a really bad season, and I don't like to point out specific players, but I just noticed for again a guy that you were really high on, thought this would maybe the best receiver, or yeah, I'm sure there's a video floating around talking about this, but one of the things I've noticed is he's just not had that Dallas moment that this is what we thought Wingo would have. Hell, he can't even throw a football to a wide open guy, So I'm just, and nor should he. He's a wide receiver. So I'm just a little frustrated with some of the explosive plays that I'm seeing from Texas, or lack thereof.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth, Shane. Would you rather have Ryan Wingo or Dallas Wilson?
Dallas. Give me Dallas.
Now, we've only one game. That's
yeah.
He might suck the rest of the year, but
we did this with Alabama last year, right?
Now, hey, let me ask you this: is Texas making a bowl game?
Oh, yeah, I think so. Yeah,
but the fact that you had to hesitate is not great. With Oklahoma coming up, at Kentucky should be a win. At State, them cowbells will get you. I mean, if you lose to State, it's up in the air. Vanderbilt at home, at Georgia, Arkansas at home, at A&M at home. So yeah, I kind of kid about that. But shout out, let's kick it over real quick, Shane, to Sark. Has the expectations changed? You're sitting here at 3-2, 0-1 at the conference. You're supposed to be God's gift of football, championship or bust. Where we at, Sark?
With 2 losses now, do you have to reshape the season goals or not?
No, not at all. We're a 1-loss team in the SEC, and there's a lot of football left to be played. We got 7 conference games to be played. I'm not going to sit here and give us the poor me's and the woe is us. We'll get back. We'll get ready to go. Obviously, got a big pivotal game next week against a rival opponent in Oklahoma, a very good football team. We need to get ourselves ready to play and focus on next week. And I think, one of the mistakes we can make is look big picture. We need to focus on this week and put our best foot forward and to get ready to play against a good football team.
So, Shane, is the season on the line, you think, next week when Texas plays Oklahoma?
I don't know about the season, but I feel like you're at the end of. I wouldn't say, golly, that's a tough one.
I do not think they can drop a single game and make the playoff.
No. They to make a playoff, you've got to win out. So it kind of is
on the line.
Yeah, because is it playoffs or bust with Texas then?
I mean, with a 50 million, 80 million, whatever the number is. With Arch Vandy and they went to the semifinals 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, then yes. and especially with possibly Oklahoma not having their starting quarterback, because that will be a talking point. The fact that you are favored in this game. I know I'm not supposed to know the spreads, but I saw that one. I think that's also important. So, and this is a game that Texas fans are expecting to win, and they're going to chalk this up as a mistake, as we let one get away. But I feel like if you lose to Oklahoma, then all of a sudden they're saying, what are we? You know?
Right.
So
now we'll have all week to talk about this.
Yes.
And so I'm certainly not asking for a pick or anything, but if Texas, and it's fun to laugh at it. I'm seeing in the comments, Arch, oh man, there's so many memes out there and little clip videos. Yeah. If Texas beats Oklahoma, what would be your confidence level that they not that they're going to run the table, but that could like inspire them to kind of right a lot of the wrongs? Does that make sense? Like kind of again, you're not predicting 10-2 after that, but if they could, I'm just saying. I mean, I would sit here and be like, all right, I think if they beat Oklahoma,
right,
I think they're going to wax Kentucky, wax Mississippi State, and then they go into the final month with everything right in front of them.
Yeah, I feel like this is such a pivotal game, and like you said, I'm not going to, because I haven't figured it out yet. I still don't know who I'm going to pick in this game.
Right.
But I feel like if Texas does win it, then that brings the belief back into that locker room that they can beat anybody. And that's the attitude they had at the start of the season. That's an attitude that they probably lost after this loss against the Florida Gators. Nobody in that locker room expected to go down here to Gainesville and lose. And that's exactly what they did. So maybe a little humble pie is what you need to focus this week in practice, because you have got to be all hands on deck with them Sooners coming to town.
Right. Well, hey, and Shane, let's say you need tickets to that game. Back for another week, Shane. Shout out our friends over at SeatGeek. Go check them out or download the app on your phone, whatever's most convenient for you. But if you need tickets for his football season or really any event, Shane, they got you covered over at SeatGeek with that promo code SEC10. Get you 10% off your full order over at SeatGeek. Really, this would really help the show out. If you need some tickets, go check them out over at SeatGeek. And don't forget that promo code SEC10 to get you 10% off. You can't beat that. You know, all these tickets, Shane, these events cost an arm and a leg. Mm-hmm. Buddy, we're sitting here trying to help you help yourself. Get you 10% off your order over at SeatGeek with that promo code SEC10. You know what?
Oh yeah, I love SeatGeek just because I like the visual where you can see where you're at. It's like, how close to the concession stands am I? You know.
Shane's not worried about the stage. He needs to know where's the restroom, where's the concessions.
That's right. Is this an aisle seat?
All right, Shane. How about this one? So another big one here in the SEC. Oh. Buddy, undefeated, no more. Is them Vanderbilt Commodores save Shane a couple of miles? Because Alabama's mighty again, Shane, 30-14. And this was a hell of a game if you didn't watch it. I feel like a lot of people didn't watch this, and they're already writing off the Vanderbilt Commodores, Shane. Mm-hmm. Vanderbilt's legit. Yeah. They came out, they forced Ty Simpson to his first turnover of the season. Martell Height, shout out him for the interception. And then Vanderbilt's Ced Alexander scored on a 65-yard touchdown run. Vanderbilt, very next possession, driving into the red zone. Diego Pavia stripped, though, by Justin Jefferson. Shout out that guy for making a hell of a play. Could have very well been 10-0 right out the gate. Bama responded, scored, and then Vanderbilt responded to take a 14-7 lead. And really, Shane, I thought the game was won right before halftime. Alabama went on a 6-play, 78-yard touchdown drive, which when they got the ball, there was just 1 minute and 11 seconds left. It was too quick, it was too easy, and it was like Alabama kind of figured something out about Vanderbilt. That was just a tough one, but it was not over. Late in the game, fourth quarter, Bama was up 20-14, and Diego Pavia threw an interception in the red zone. Just can't have it in a game of this magnitude. They had to take care of the football. And then Alabama scored a touchdown literally as they were running out the clock. Kayla DeBoer helping the boosters out with their point spreads. So, again, I'm not trying to take away from Alabama. They outscored Vanderbilt 16-0 in the second half. They deserve to win. They're the better team. Hell, we predicted them to win this football game. But anybody that just is like looking at the box score and seeing Pavia had a couple turnovers and Alabama fans yelling at him if anybody missed that, that's not the takeaway for me. The takeaway is Vanderbilt was, they were damn near the equal of Alabama with not a single player on their damn roster that Alabama would take over one of their own. So I think Vanderbilt is still in line for a really, really good season. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I probably still should issue an apology to all Vanderbilt fans and definitely to Diego Pavia, because that team just solidified for me how good they are. And this is a football team that's still going to win a lot of football games. And it's so funny. We did this last year and we're doing it this year. It's like we don't give Vanderbilt the respect until your team plays them. And then if you win, you're like, shit, we got lucky there, or we barely squeaked one out there. Or if you lose, you're saying, I've been trying to tell you Vanderbilt's good the whole time. Vanderbilt is good this entire time. And man, to go down to Tuscaloosa, and this was a ball game, brother. There were moments in this game I thought Vanderbilt was going to win. And yes, did they give up 500 yards rushing or yards total? Yeah, absolutely. But it was a bend, don't break. As soon as they got in the red zone, they clamped down and they found ways to minimize the damage. And I always thought that was impressive. I think the one stat line that kind of floored me was the time of possession that Alabama had. That's not the recipe. In fact, Diego talks about this after the game, saying, hey, they used our recipe, the same recipe that we used to beat them last year. Time of possession, staying on the football field, and coming away with points, and limiting the mistakes. And the problem that we had this Saturday, Mike, especially for Diego, was the mistakes inside the red zone. And you erase those, who knows what this outcome would be. But hats off to Vanderbilt. Very, very, very good football team. But I don't want to take away from Vanderbilt. A close game with Vanderbilt shouldn't be frowned upon. You went toe-to-toe with a really, really high-quality opponent this weekend.
Yeah, and man, these Mizzou fans, Shane, they're rabid right now. Undefeated Mizzou. Shout out Andrew, gave us $25. Ahmad Hardy might run for 250 against these clowns. You know what?
It's going to be, that's setting up to be the game of the week, isn't it? So I'm looking forward to that one. But I wanted to give Vanderbilt their dues. And hell, ask Mizzou about Vandy. They know exactly how good that team can be. So,
hey, shout out because he gave us a donation.
Yeah.
And just something I was thinking about here. Georgia was undefeated. Vanderbilt was undefeated. Mizzou is undefeated. It's pretty wild to get into conference play and have 3 straight against undefeated opponents.
Yeah.
And again, this was a very physical, very chippy game. So in some sense, I can see it. If you're a Bama fan, you're saying, well, hell, we've been this ride before. We can hang with anybody, which I believe they can. But if you're Missouri, you're saying, all right, well, that was nice. We got 2 weeks to prepare for this one huge game. SEC Nation's coming to town. This is and they've been through it too, because they got on certainly a different level. But the Kansas game, all the hype and anticipation for that, this is much different. I think this is a much bigger game. But, they've been through a similar situation. So, buddy, that's going to be one hell of a matchup. You know what?
Yeah. And the problem, too, that a lot of these teams face is just the respect, the national respect. And some of them just haven't got it. And it takes playing in Alabama with Vanderbilt this week. I feel like people watched that game came away saying, hey, Alabama got lucky. Not lucky, but they won. But Vanderbilt's a really good football team. And now Mizzou's going to have that opportunity. They're going to have Alabama coming to town, and all eyes are going to be on these undefeated Mizzou Tigers, and they're all going to point to the other games and say either A, you guys have had it made up to this point, and you got exposed, or B, you guys got a really good football team and probably going to be in the SEC championship. That's the point that we're at. That's how pivotal this matchup's going to be this weekend.
Right. Hey, shout out DeBoer, Shane. 13-4 now
Yeah.
against ranked opponents. That's pretty good. It's pretty good.
You
Now,
got to feel good about Bama, right? If you're a Bama fan,
yeah.
I mean, you talk about battle tested. You guys, not only have you been battle tested, but you have shown massive progression from week one to where we're at now. This is a football team that is getting stronger the longer we go. And you were asking earlier, about playoff teams. I think the recipe for playoff teams now, especially those that are going to make a deep run into it, not only have to be playing better every single week, but they also got to be healthy. And who has more depth, more talented depth than Alabama? There's a handful of schools. So I think Alabama's sitting in a pretty spot right now.
Yeah, and here's another. So that was a good stat for DeBoer. I forgot to mention this one for Sark. Ooh. 9-15 in one-score games as Texas coach. I believe that's 13th in the SEC. So
fire him. Get him out of here. Get him out of
if
here.
he ain't blowing you out, he's losing.
The NFL jobs are looking better every day.
Emily says, "Hey, let's stop brown noses DeBoering now." And shout out B5 Bazoo beats Bama this week.
Oh, I like it. I like it. We got a lot of cousin donations too, so I apologize for missing those earlier. We'll get to those to the end, but
I've
appreciate
been keeping track of them. Shane.
All right, yes, and the thumbs up. If you hit the thumbs up, that helps as well. And thank you for sharing the pod to your friends and family.
Well, speaking of thumbs up, Shane.
Yeah. Who's hitchhiking now?
How about them Aggies? Come on, Shane. 31-9 over Mississippi State. And State, believe it or not, Shane, they took the early lead in this one, 3-0. A&M got stuffed at the goal line on 4th and goal. We had the watch party, and Shane said, how many damn times A&M's going to run this football? 9 in a row. They were not believing in the pass game early, but this defense is legit, Shane. They're getting better and better each and every week. A&M got an interception thanks to the pass rush, affected Blake Shapen, hit his arm, and then Casey Concepcion right before halftime, Shane, carrying a bulldog into the end zone to get the first touchdown of the game, 7-3. It was just Blake Shapen was just rattled, I feel like, and it was all because of A&M getting after his ass. They've got one hell of a defensive line. Mario Craver had another big 42-yard catch and run, set up another score. Marcel Reed hit Casey Concepcion in the back of the end zone to give him a 14-3 lead, and that was all she wrote, Shane, because State was doing nothing on A&M's defense. A&M had 300 yards in the second half, 24 points, to Mississippi State had 112 yards in the second half and just 6 points. Penalties still an issue, though, for the Aggies. 9 penalties, 66 yards. Didn't even matter. A&M, 9 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, 2 forced overs, and a Christmas tree. Shout out A&M defense, Shane. This is insane. In 2 conference games,
Yeah.
they have allowed 1 third down conversion this season. Oh, buddy, that'll do. What was your impression, Shane, of A&M taking them behind the woodshed here?
Defense. Yeah. I mean, we could sit there and we could talk about how great the running game at Texas A&M has, but what about a defense shutting these guys down? I mean, I really thought Fluff and Booth, they were going to come in here and just have not a field day, but be a big part of this offense and be a deciding factor who wins. And they said, not so fast, my friend. They shut them 2 boys down. They were back in the backfield. Like you said, I think they had 4 sacks, 9 tackles for loss, interceptions galore, pass deflections, anything and everything that Mississippi State tried to throw at them. It seemed like Texas A&M had an answer, and that's the progression, man. I mean, the stats do not dictate or do not show how dominant this performance was for the Texas A&M Aggies. I feel like this is a team that's playing better than anybody right now in the SEC, and so be careful. Very, very dangerous ball club.
Right, and man, if they could just put it all together for 4 quarters,
Yeah.
I think they can beat anybody.
It's for me, Mike, it's as simple as it's not simple, but if Marcel Reed takes it to the next level, I feel like that will be the ultimate, because they got the weapons. They got two of the best wide receivers. They got, Lord, they got every time I turn around, they got a different colored shoe running back there for another 100 yards. They've got plenty of talent on the offensive side. I just told you how impressive the defense was this weekend. Yeah, it is a balanced, high-tuned machine here. And if Reed takes it to that next level, whew, buddy.
Is it fair to say, though, and maybe it's not, but is it fair to say that Florida, the way, not maybe, now here's cheating, right? Because the way they played against Texas, that's who Florida is, in my opinion.
Yes.
Not USF, not Miami, not LSU. The way they played against Texas. If they play like that on the offensive side of the football, will this be the toughest test of this A&M defense face this season?
I think Notre Dame on the road was tough, but I would say,
After all the shit talk we do about Notre Dame,
I do. I feel like as far as offense, because hell,
you seen Dallas Wilson?
Did you
seen
not-
Jaden Ball? You seen DJ Lagway?
Yeah, I don't want to get too carried away here, Mike. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I feel like at least this A&M team has been tested. So, but I do think
I'm not saying they're not been tested.
Yeah.
I'm just saying this could be the toughest. Hell, we thought Texas defense was good.
It could be. And it just, for me, it's just health of DJ. If he comes out here, he's a 90%. I think we may have a damn football game. But if he literally limps into this thing, then we may have a different story.
The wrecking crew's back, baby, down here at A&M. You know what?
Oh, man. They take him offensive lineman out to dinner this week. Jeez.
And how impressive is it that they lost all these defensive linemen in the NFL? And that was a real question mark. How you going to replace all these studs on here? Hell, they are significantly better without them. Mm-hmm. That's a credit to this coaching staff. And I'm not saying they don't have they got incredible talent on the defensive side of the football, but that's a credit to the coaching staff, don't you think?
Yes. Yeah. Because I felt like it was very deliberate when we were doing some recruiting this offseason. Last year, the year before, it was almost like, hey, let's just get as many warm bodies as we can get down here. But it felt like this was very detailed, very planned out, and you're starting to see it. I just like the talent evaluation because the guys that you're bringing in not only are contributors, but they are damn stat leaders. They're ones we're talking about. Hey, man, this kid's going to be playing on Sunday before you know it. So, sometimes you whiff on those, but Elko's career, as long as we've been watching it, he's been very, very successful of identifying talent out there.
So where does State go from here, Shay? 2 losses. They got a bye week. 0-2 in conference play. Not totally unexpected. Now I know you're down in the dumps right now. Fluff got injured. I don't know an update on him, how long he'll be out. Again, we got the bye week, so hopefully he'll be back after the bye.
Yeah.
But again, now this is not a great way to probably look at it because you just lost, again, one heartbreaker and then one kind of decided. But if you were to ask any Mississippi State fan, including you, cousin Span, who's high on his dogs, if you were to guarantee them in the summer, you're going to go 4-2 to start the year. 1,000% of you would have taken that, don't you think?
Yes, absolutely.
So again, it's not doom. I don't think it's doom and gloom. But where do we go from here? What are the odds we make a bowl game, you think?
Well, I do think that you wish that Florida, Arkansas, Mizzou were home,
Right.
because I do feel like this place, it kind of came alive when Tennessee came to town, and, you're going to have some tough games on the road. But my biggest concern is like the opposite of Texas A&M is competitive depth. And, Coach Levy talked about this after the game. He's like, man, this bye could not come at a better time. We needed it. It took 6 weeks. They kind of screwed them in the bye week section. They will not have another one until right before the Egg Bowl, which is kind of crazy. But this is a team that is going to be limping into the tail end of the season, and they don't have that depth. So these kind of swing games, or these toss-ups, if you will, you kind of wish you would have had those earlier, but I'm not saying they're completely out, because this is even Elko talks about this. This is a great football team. We did not let them get into their routine, kind of like Tennessee had problems doing. They were able to get them off the field on third downs, but if you let Mississippi State hang around and you let Levy play the offense he wants to play, they can go toe to toe with anybody in the Southeastern Conference, man.
Right. All right. Well, speaking of being able to go toe to toe with anybody, Shane, shout out then, dog, Shane, 35-14. And this game wasn't near as close as the score would indicate, was it? Georgia jumped out to a 14-0 lead on the first two drives of the game, including a 96-yard touchdown drive on the second possession. Then Kentucky scored, and you're singing, uh-oh, it's one of these close Kentucky-Georgia games, right? No, sir. Them dogs scored 21 unanswered to go up 35-7. That was pretty much all she wrote. Kentucky had a 20-play drive in this game, Shane, that resulted in an interception. You can't go 20 plays in a drive and not score. That was rough. Rushing, Georgia led it 180-45. Red zone, they dominated 5 of 6 for 35 points. Kentucky was 1 of 3 for 7 points in the red zone. And man, this is the type of performance we expect to see from Georgia in a conference matchup at home. You ain't losing, and Kentucky on the road, you ain't winning. Thoughts on this one?
I will say this, that I guess there was some impressionable moments in this game. And what I mean by that, I felt like Cutter played pretty good football against the Georgia Bulldogs here. And I'm not saying that he is the next Will Levis, right? But I do feel like there is something here. And if they play their cards right and get this young man some weapons around him, they may have some sort of offense moving forward. The problem is just that. We got to wait till the end of the year to find that talent, because right now they do not have it. I felt like there were some splash plays, which is rare for Kentucky these days, but you give me McGowan, you give me Cutter, I feel like you could take him to several SEC teams and win a lot of football games. The problem you're going to run into is just Kentucky doesn't have enough talent this season. So it's going to be a long road, but I feel like the big picture here is Georgia. Georgia came out here and did something that we've not seen in a long time, and that is jump on a football team early. And it felt like, why haven't we been doing these kill shots to begin with? Jump up on them and then play that Georgia defense that we like to watch and admire. So I think that was the big one for me. It's just we saw a little more balance. We saw a little more aggressive. I was afraid it was going to be swing passes to the halfback or screen passes to the wide receivers, but we actually saw some downfield shots. And yes, some of them looked bad. Sometimes Gunner didn't look great, but at least it felt like they got outside that box. And that's what Georgia's going to have to do if they're going to win another championship down there.
Yeah, and this was, to your point, Shane, starting fast. Yeah. This was only the second time in their last 7 games against power competition that they scored first.
Yeah,
so
that's crazy.
They got to get over that, and this was a good start. How does this help, you think? Again, we'll have all week to talk about this, but these next 2, Shane, good night at Auburn.
Yeah.
Which their back's against the wall. It's kind of like their Super Bowl. They always play you well at their house for whatever reason. And then Ole Miss, anything from Saturday against a fairly dominant performance against Kentucky that gives you positive hope that at Auburn and Ole Miss at home will be that we have the answers to get wins in these games.
Can't overlook Auburn. I mean, it is a rivalry, but I mean, obviously the Ole Miss game is the one that we're going to have circled here, just because they got him last year, and just because Georgia's defense, even in this game, had moments where you're like, this ain't my papa's Georgia defense. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what.
He got any linemen, remember?
No. But that's what he said. He's like, well, we won the line of scrimmage, but I've been looking around the SEC, and not a lot of folks have these big-bodied boys like we do. So I feel like that's part of the problem that we're going to have with Georgia is maybe that overlook factor, because Auburn can beat you. Man, if anybody, it's like he's the new Billy Napier down there. He needs a win. He needs a win to get these damn fans off his back. And I feel like you can't overlook this one. But going into the Ole Miss, I'll say this one. Ole Miss has no problems moving the football. They have no problems putting points on the board, and that worries me a little bit, because I don't know if that game is played that way, if Georgia can keep up. So, yes, they came out and punched Kentucky in the mouth, but Kentucky and Ole Miss are two different football teams, brother.
Hey, shout out to Asian Persuasion. Everyone's best games against Kentucky. You know what?
Oh, you are not wrong, Asian Persuasion.
Hey, so there was a lot of rumors flying around, Shane.
Yes.
I checked with sources. They said this is complete BS, but they still asked Mark Stoops after the game, hey, there's rumors. You might be, hitting the old dusty trail. Here's what Mark Stoops had to say about that.
I mean, I hate to give anything like that legs. There's zero. I told you last year, right? You know what I mean? You guys could write and say what you want about me, but I mean, I told you there's zero chance I'm walking away. You know what I mean? Zero. And, there's no quitting me, so that's unequivocally 100% false. And anybody says otherwise is lying.
You said at the start, we're not going to win.
And I don't want to address that crap no more.
You said at the start.
I don't want to address that crap no more, Shane.
They're going to drag me out of this, mother.
Yeah, who's walking away from a $38 million buyout? You know what?
No, not me. Not this guy, So, hey, like I said, I don't know where they're in a weird spot, right? They're in an absolutely weird spot. And I feel like Kentucky.
If they go 3-9, this is not going away.
No.
Right?
Right. No. It's not. And honestly, Mike, do you see him winning more than 3 games realistically right now?
No. Maybe like ceiling 4-8. But even that's that's not
acceptable, right?
No.
Somebody asked who's the new Vanderbilt, and it didn't take 2 seconds. It's Kentucky. Kentucky's the new Vanderbilt. So, and these Kentucky fans don't want this, because this is where they were in the 90s and 80s. You know what I'm saying? They had a little taste of that 10-win season, and they want to keep it.
That they do, but they won't be keeping it with all that guy as their coach. You know what?
Oh, man.
You know who is keeping it, though?
Who's keeping it, Mike?
Them Sooners. Come on, buddy. 44-0 over mighty Kent State, Shane. Maybe the worst team in the country, but Sooners don't care. They said, you know what? We're going to come out here and whoop their ass, and boy, did they, Shane. Kent State had 82 yards at halftime. Finished with 17 rushing yards in the game. Oklahoma had 185. Shout out Michael Hawkins. Maybe seeing a little bit more of him upcoming. 14 of 24, 162 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. But he did start 11 of 13, so even better. He added 33 rushing yards and a touchdown. How about this Oklahoma defense, Shane? 13 tackles for loss. I'll say that again. 13 tackles for loss, 5 sacks, 2 turnovers forced, a defensive touchdown. How about them Sooners on defense? I mean, look at this. Look at this freaking chart here, Shane. Nothing but three and outs basically for old Kent State. And I know they're not that good, or they're not good at all, but to basically not allow any first downs in a football game is pretty damn impressive, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, it was the defense. There were some moments in this game that was frustrating to watch. If you're an Oklahoma fan, I can imagine. It was really nice seeing my damn kicker. I'm curious how long. I mean, you may give him a 70-yard attempt. He may make it. That's the best kicker I think is in the Southeastern Conference right now. But I will say this too. They'll be fine with Hawkins, but you can see there is a difference, a big difference when Mateer's not back there, So for me, and I was on an Oklahoma show this weekend, and we talked about this. What's the ceiling for these Sooners? And I feel like the ceiling's a college football playoffs. But, little mistakes that you make during games like Kent State are going to be could result in losses against a Texas, could result in a loss against Tennessee, you know. So there were a few mistakes that were made here that you just were able to patch up because you're just that much more talented than Kent. But I feel like the key is don't focus too far ahead here. We really got to get one game at a time and just clean up the stupid mistakes, especially on that offensive line, because there was plenty of them. And you do that, it still can't. Let me ask you this. After the game, I was kind of discouraged that there wasn't more rushing yards, you know? Yeah. Are you a little discouraged? I mean, at this point, I was
thinking the same thing, Shane. But I think their plan was we got to get Hawkins in.
Okay.
We could run for 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
It's not going to help Hawkins if he's playing Texas.
Right.
We got to get him in this offense, some live action, because we ain't going to run all over Texas.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, that does.
I think that was the game plan. I really do. Because they were throwing late in the game. Now, they were not throwing that successfully late in the game. He started hotter than he finished.
Right.
But again, I think it was all about getting him reps in this offense with these receivers. I really do.
That makes sense. Did they tear that wall down yet? Back there in the end zone? Because
they should be doing that. They're not on bye, but they're out of Norman this week. They need to tear that shit down.
They asked him after the game, and a couple of them said, "Hey, what about that brick wall? We gonna pad it up or anything?" And he says safety is always number one priority there in Norman. So I would imagine either that wall gets removed or it's covered up by something by the time we get back.
Right. And then I do got a quick clip here from Venables, Shane. He was asked about John Mateer.
Yeah.
And I don't know, how big of a poker player is Brent Venables? You be the judge.
If you go to Dallas and Mateer can't play, how do you feel about Hawkins?
I'm assuming he can't, again, he had some experience playing in there last year, and really my mindset is no different than it was going into today. Again, we need to play well in the areas that we are in control, taking care of the ball, making layups when they're there, not try to do too much. We've got to, again, sum of all of our parts as a football team to complement, one another. And but I feel great about Mike.
You think of the running game tonight?
All right, Shane. So again, I'm trying to read between the lines there. He said he doesn't anticipate. What did he say? I don't anticipate him playing, but
yeah.
When I heard that, and then I actually watched the clip, I detected a little grin there. Is he playing some poker here?
Well, why wouldn't you, right? We talk about this week one. It's always stupid if it's some shit team out of Chattanooga or whatever. But
right.
But this one here, you can use it because Mateer likes to run, but he's nowhere near as mobile as Hawkins is, and so if you give that little wrinkle that they have to waste practice reps on, then I think you can use that as a competitive edge here. So I do not expect anytime soon to hear whether Mateer's a go or not. I've been texting the Chipotle guy like nonstop. He swears he'll be there. So I don't know. Take that for what it's worth. Prepare for both quarterbacks. But when is the injury report? It's Thursday, right?
Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Okay, so which one do they get in trouble with? Like if they say he's doubtful,
according to Kiffin, you don't have to put anyone on there. So hell, I wouldn't even put him on there.
Yeah, I guess we won't know until Saturday then.
Right. But you know who does know something?
Rolls Royce.
Rolls Royce, come on, buddy. Good evening, all. Hey, I know a lot of our teams haven't been perfect like we wanted, but football season's basically halfway over. Oh, we ain't even close to halfway over. Let's take a deep breath and soak it all in. It will be all gone soon. Go Tigers.
Don't you put that evil on me. Rolls Royce. We get the throes of it, and sometimes I get like, man, because it's tough sometimes going through, like, especially at the start of the season when we had 16 teams, 16 games,
Yeah.
But you take it for granted, man, because Man, if this, I always joke, if this was March and this is the weekend, this is the only weekend of college football we had, we all would have been glued to the TV watching and enjoying it. So love it while it's here, boys and girls.
Right. Hey, so now we get to an absolutely epic weekend of SEC action, Shane.
Yeah.
Let's predict the opening lines here for this matchups. One non-conference game, but the rest all conference. This is going to be the best weekend yet in the SEC this season. How about this one, Shane? Coming off a bye, red hot Ole Miss, number 1 in the SEC, hosting Washington State. What do you think the opening line is?
22.5.
33.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Trinidad, do. You know, maybe you need to rewatch the tape there, Shane. All right, how about this one, Shane? Both these teams coming off a bye. Arkansas, Bobby Petrino rides again at Tennessee. What do you think the opening line is, Shane?
Tennessee, 38?
Not even close.
No, just kidding. Tennessee, I'd probably say Tennessee, 10.
13.5.
Ooh. Okay. Okay.
All right, how about this, Shane? Both these teams coming off a bye. South Carolina at LSU. Revenge game. And we don't know Garrett Nussmeier. I mean, I certainly don't expect him to miss, but
Yeah.
he was looking pretty hobbled last time we saw him. And Little Worse is heating up.
Give me LSU 12.
9.5.
Oh.
Okay, how about this, Shane? Red hot Florida. After being ice cold. But red hot Florida, Shane, going to Texas A&M. What's the opening line?
How many home games they get? Give me Texas A&M 14.
8.5.
Ooh, I was way
You gotta
off.
put some respect on Florida's name. Did you watch him whoop
I'm
Texas?
trying to give them some locker room material here.
Okay. And then how about mighty Georgia, Shane, on the road? That old Hugh Freeze back against the wall. Opening line for this one.
Georgia, 9.
4.5.
I'm just all over the place today.
How about Bama, Shane? Mighty Bama on the road. Oh, guess who's got a better record, Shane? MIZ. Game of the year up there, perhaps. What's the opening line?
Bama, 4.5.
Nailed it.
I saw that one earlier.
Absolutely nailed it, Shane.
I cheated on that one.
Well, you should have made up a different number to
14.5. Mizzou.
And then Texas, Red River, Oklahoma.
This one I saw too. It's Texas 3.5.
I mean, why do we even play these games, Shane? If you're just going to look at them all. But
Well,
yeah,
damn it just
what a
popped up on Twitter. You know,
hell of a weekend here in the SEC. I mean, you can't beat it, can you?
No, you can't. You cannot beat it, and I can't wait to watch it. You know, let me see. It's gonna be tough to do a watch party this week because there's so many damn good games. Well, we got spoiled last week. You know, we were able to kind of take our time and watch these, but we're gonna be locked and loaded Saturday. So get those honey-do lists, those with football deposits in early this week because your ass ain't leaving the couch, Mike.
No doubt, Shade. Well, hey, let's give a shout out to all these great cousins that gifted membership, Shane. I've been keeping track of it all.
Okay.
Shout out, as always, the legend.
Legend, Cousin JR has done it again.
Thank you, JR. He gifted Clayton Mitchell. Clayton,
Welcome to the family.
Cousin Dakota's back again. Shane, he's feeling good about his MIZ. He gifted Unbiased Bram. Unbiased, welcome
to the family.
Cousin Glenn Warsaw's back, Shane. Gifted Sigor, welcome
to the family.
JDWD, War Damn Eagle, he just became a member, so we appreciate you.
Welcome to the family.
And then Steven Up, the legend. Man, imagine being a Bama fan.
Roll Tide.
Always showing up for them boys in Tuscaloosa. It's Steven Up. Roll Tide.
Gifted 5, Shane. Larry Hankins, Scott, Big Parm, what a name. Analog Kid, Digital Man. Chris Yates, welcome
to the family.
Just Jared, he gifted Timothy Keynes. Timothy, welcome
to the family.
Brandon McIver gifted Random Latrell. Random,
welcome to the family.
Mr. Sip gifted 5, Shane.
Damn, come on,
Chevy
Sip.
Everett, Jamie Reese, Based Kirby, Devonta Bonds, and Gryffindor.
Welcome to the family.
And then Rolls Royce Pierce gifted Kenny Davis, I think I butchered that one. Carmiga, Tom Ross, Bob's Headset, and Jacob Saik. Welcome
to the family. Thank you, cuz.
Yeah. And Steven Up said he even threw in $10 just to be awesome. You know what?
Yeah, must be nice. High tide.
Kalen DeBoer says, Kalen DeBoer, DeBoring's agent. Rumor has it Billy's still trying to call timeouts today.
He came out and was asked about that. And it's so funny because the media is just totally cool with him now, right? Like, oh, Billy, great, blah, blah, blah. But then somebody's like, but just curious, that timeout thing, what was that all about? He's like, well, my best tackle wasn't in there, and I just, you're going to have timeout anyway. So I was like,
I'm not sure I really understand this one from Jimmy, the 12th man. Any correlation to the way Mississippi State played versus Tennessee versus A&M?
To the way Mississippi's played versus Tennessee versus I would say, I don't know. I don't know what that. I don't think there is. There's more correlation between Mississippi State and Tennessee. So I would imagine a team that has played one of the Vols or Mississippi State probably, kind of got a leg up when facing that spread offense.
And shout out Gig'em Fitch. Welcome
to the family. Gig'em.
Man. Oh, wait. And then here, Shane, updated.
Yeah.
I wanted to throw this up there too. SEC standings. As we go into week 7, again, it's still a muddled mess, Shane. Ole Miss at the top.
Yeah.
A&M and Bama right on their heels. All of those are undefeated with multiple conference wins. Missouri and Oklahoma also undefeated in the conference. A lot of these teams are facing off. Bama, Missouri faces off. One of them has to lose.
Yeah.
Ole Miss, they still got another week before they get into conference play, but A&M playing Florida, which is gaining steam. Oklahoma, Texas, that'll be huge. Then Georgia's right there, LSU, Vanderbilt, Tennessee, Florida, all those just one conference loss, so they're all in it. Gamecocks 1-2, Texas, mighty Texas 0-1 down there with Arkansas, and then Mississippi State, Auburn, and Kentucky. And hell, Shane, I wouldn't even eliminate. I kind of half kidding say this, but I wouldn't eliminate Auburn yet. Now they can eliminate themselves on Saturday, but if they beat Georgia, who can't they? Maybe Alabama, but they're getting them at home. I don't think even Auburn can be eliminated yet.
Letters to God says it best. Separation Saturday. That's what's coming up, Mike. That's when we're going to figure out who's contenders and who's pretenders. And we've got a lot of great football games coming on this weekend, and Auburn being one of them. I'm right there with you. Nobody is eliminated yet. Hell, even Florida. I know it sounds crazy, man. It sounds so crazy even saying. I can't believe I'm about to say this because they just gave Billy an extension. But it needs to be pointed out, if the Florida Gators win out, they definitely should be in the college football playoff. Should be.
Yeah.
A&M, top. What are they, top 10 now? Georgia, top 10. Ole Miss will be top 10. Tennessee, top 15. Florida State, who knows what they're going to be at that point. So
Florida State's top 10 in the ACC.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I'm just saying, maybe we should have that conversation, but that's the beauty of the extended college football playoffs. Sometimes, you remember back in the day, you lose to, like me as a Vol fan, we'd lose to Florida early in the season. It's like, we're not going to the BCS championship this year, the hell with it. Let's go to the pumpkin patch, honey. You can't do that now. You really got to stay locked in. And right now, a 2-loss, even a potentially 3-loss team can still find a way to get in those playoffs.
Hey, looking ahead.
Yeah.
Who gets put on who's on the hottest seat if they lose this week, the upcoming? Because I got one on my mind.
The hottest seat? I would say the hottest seat would be, I say Billy Napier. Not
losing at number 5 in the country on the road. You missed the mark here. Brian Kelly losing at home to South Carolina.
Oh, well, yeah,
buddy. I'm saying with this week only. You know what I mean? So, and then a quick runner up.
Well, Lane Kiffin losing
no, he's not. He would be on the coolest seat in the country. But Brian Kelly could legitimately get fired by the end of the year. And another one, Shane, that is borderline.
Yeah.
I don't think this game hurts him. It does. It hurts is a wrong word, but Hugh Freeze is 2 weeks away from getting fired.
Yeah.
If he loses to Georgia and he loses to Missouri, I think he could legitimately get fired. But his seat will warm up a little by losing to Georgia. It's really that Missouri game for me. But I think Brian Kelly, he better win. I think he's the one front and center.
What about Sark? Backup quarterback, Oklahoma, and your favorite in this game?
Nah. They ain't going to fire his ass.
Yeah. I'm not saying they're going to be fired. I'm just saying he'll be on a pretty damn hot seat down there. I mean,
he's more likely to get an extension than get fired.
Eliminated from college football playoffs in October.
Yeah, tell him, Cotton, get in there. They love his losing record in one-score games. If it's a one-score game, he's going to lose it. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, shit. Well, I'll tell you this, Mike. If you hate Clemson, please hit the thumbs up button so we know who you are, all right? Hit that like button, please.
Absolutely. Hey, all right, so anything else, buddy, before we jump off the line? I feel like we're about to lose you.
Yeah, bright and early, because some of us got work. Some of us got a show to do in the morning at 7:30. So I hope to see all the cousins there bright and early. We are going to talk about pretenders and contenders. I done told you, I've kind of hinted at it. I feel like we got a pretty good pulse on who's been lied to us this entire time and who is about to pop. So, JP, I appreciate you putting all the lists together. Thank you, cousin. The shout-outs go to Glenn Warshaw, Cousin JR, Dakota, Stephen Up, Kaylin DeBoer's agent, Just Jared, Marty Funkhouse, Andrew, Forrest Whittle, Sam Schrock, Austin Blazer, P5 Cadre, Brandon McGyver, Jimmy 12th Man, Nate M. Defender, Blair, Mr. Sip, and Rolls Royce. Appreciate all the legends coming through and helping this show grow. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, so we'll catch you in the morning, the afternoon, and the evening tomorrow. But stay locked in, like, subscribe, please share the show. Really helps us out. But that's going to do it for this episode. We'll catch you on the next one.
See you guys. Go Vols.
Hey, buddy, this beer's for you, Mike, and Cousin Shane. That SEC podcast loves the Pirate, and the Pirate loves that SEC podcast. Hail State.